सब डेटा है, पर मैं तो सिर्फ CBSE देखता था ज्यादातर. At the end of the day, I wanted the admission officer to read out in a single sentence what this kid wants to do when comes to college,
I would advise you not to go to UIUC.
which covers about 70% of my fees.
So hello everyone, today we have Yajansh here. He got into one of the top schools of America, some schools in UK, and he had actually made a really good list of safe schools for his SAT score, GPA, and also his extracurriculars. So today we will be evaluating his profile and how he was able to make it to great schools like Drexel, UIUC. Drexel is very common for its co-op program, which is competitive with University of Waterloo in Canada, right? So let's get into the details. So first of all, hi Yajansh, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, it's a pleasure to be on your channel. So I'm from Noida, and I did my schooling from a CBSE school in Noida. Overall, I've been applying to US universities, planning since the 11th grade. And in 12th grade, I applied to a bunch of schools and got into University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I got into UIUC, Purdue, and I also got into University of Georgia with a Classic City Scholarship, which covers about around 70% of my fees. So basically, I would be an in-state student as per my tuition. So yeah, that's pretty much about me.
So you got scholarship up to 75% in Drexel, and you got great amount of scholarship in University of Georgia as well. Like how much it is?
So at University of Georgia, my fees would be somewhere around 18K, and the overall cost at University of Georgia is 45K.
Wow. So 1 year fees, $18,000. Pretty impressive
Yes.
at this time. And so 4 years, you're saying like 45,000.
So no, so for the maximum tuition fee that can be paid is 45K,
I
and
see.
I am supposed to pay 18K.
I see,
Yes,
I see.
yes,
So you adding up living expenses. Okay, got it. Now,
yes.
talking about applying to the US universities, like currently, the whole world is in recession in terms of tech jobs. You are choosing computer science, right? So,
Right. For most majors, yes. Sometimes economics as well. Depends on the school. But at UGA and Purdue and UIUC, it was tech majors.
yeah, in this year of 2024, when whole world is suffering from tech recession, how were you thinking about application? Were you nervous this year? What were your thoughts when you were applying this year? क्या सोच रहे थे आप?
So I think that I wasn't really thinking about the recession and stuff because 4 years down the line, we don't really know what's going to happen. I just think that computer science is one of the fields that we should really have in hand anyways, even if there's a recession or not. And it's not like I will just study computer science. I might double major or minor in something to supplement my education. So I wasn't really worried about that. I just demonstrated a passion for CS and just wanted to let the admissions officer know that what I wanted to do with my degree.
वेरी वेल थॉट यार लाइक हर किसी को यही सोचना चाहिए बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली पीपल आर नॉट एबल टू थिंक क्लियरली बिकॉज एक साइड पे डेविन आ रहा है पीपल थॉट लाइक ओ एआई इज टेकिंग जॉब्स व्हिच टर्न्ड आउट टू बी स्कैम
Yeah.
देखा आपने it turned out to be
हाँ
scam
हाँ
as well like it
हाँ.
over promised and it's not even bare minimum what it promised and at the same time tech recession is temporary you don't know about the future but yeah I can challenge
Yeah.
that yes skills are there to stay for years to come.
अब स्कॉलरशिप के लिए रिसर्च असिस्टेंटशिप के लिए कैसे वेवर लें यू कैन फाइंड ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन द फ्लाई विद सिंह वेबसाइट विद द लिंक इन डिस्क्रिप्शन बिलो एंड मैं देख रहा हूँ कि स्टडी अब्रॉड इंडस्ट्री में बहुत सारे स्कैम्स हो रहे हैं नीट जेई की कोचिंग आपको बड़े बड़े स्कैम्स आपको करवा रहे हैं क्योंकि नीट जेई की कोचिंग वो भी आप स्टडी अब्रॉड नीट जेई कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स आर ऑल्सो गेटिंग इनटू स्टडी अब्रॉड कोटा में स्पेशली जब मैं था और आपसे डबल चार्ज कर रहे हैं एंड आर हेल्पिंग यू गेट इनटू यूनिवर्सिटीज तो दूर दूर तक कोई भी ना सोचे जाने के लिए सो इस कारण स्टे अवे फ्रॉम ऑल द स्कैम एंड पहले फ्री रिसोर्सेज ट्राई करो इफ नीडेड आवर टीम विल गिव यू द बेस्ट सपोर्ट यू डिजर्व
And now talking about why did you choose like Drexel, UIUC, and how did you decide these schools? What was in your mind? So like, were you targeting location? Yeah, were you targeting brands? So I just want to, understand your mind clearly कि आप study abroad को कैसे सोच रहे थे in terms of applying.
So I had a sort of like a problem. When I was in 11th grade, devoted a lot of time, a lot of my time to get a good SAT score. I ended up with a average score of like, it was above average. I got a 1490. And then, but the result of that was that since I was focused on my SAT and a lot of my extracurriculars were being built at that time, I scored a bit poorly in my 11th grade. I got like a 65% in 11th, down from like a 95 in 10th grade. So I had to cover that up. And so when I spoke to a lot of people on Reddit and a lot of online resources, I got to know that public universities, they don't really look at 11th grade. So with like complete focus, although private universities focus on your 11th grade as well. So, for example, UIUC doesn't even look at your internal grading. So, ninth and 11th are not even in the question. Only 10th grade marks are taken into account. So, based on that, I started off my research. But then after that, I also took the reputation of the college into play, and I decided a set of criteria to build my college list. So like I made a complete list, and then I sort of like check marked which college fit the criteria, and based on that I applied. But cost was also a very major factor, so I also looked for applying to scholarships. And yeah, that was pretty much it.
So main factor was cost. You wanted to make education as affordable as possible. And what
Yes.
was your budget and how did you think about finances? Like, so as per like, since you were targeting for scholarship, what do you think is a good cost that US university should charge in 2024 per year?
Well, a good education should be free, in my opinion. If you deserve it, if you deserve it, I think education should be free. And besides, these universities are non-profits, so I don't think they should be charging so much. But at the end of the day, they're not really built for international students. The primary goal is to serve the residents of the state or residents of the United States of America. So I don't blame them. But for me, my cost was for me, I was about to pay like I was able to pay like 35,000 per year.
Mhm.
But then I at UIUC the fees is like 60,000 per year. So
Yeah.
if I plan to go to UIC, I'm still deciding right now. So if I plan to go to UIUC, I want to complete my degree in 3 years, and the overall cost will be finished through that. So based on cost, this was my plan. At UG and Rexel, I can afford the cost.
Hmm. Got it. So, like, that's a good plan, actually. I really admire the transparency of funds. So, I think, in my opinion, like, I would advise you not to go to UIUC because, like,
Yeah.
$60,000 per year is a lot. मेरे ख्याल से, like, I want to give you an example. So, I actually met students at NYU. I met students at a community college in Silicon Valley. I met students who were studying at San Jose State University. And I can tell you in current market, I have seen more students having good jobs at places like New York and San Francisco as compared to Boston. Even like some people at Boston University, Northeastern University, they don't have as many students getting full-time jobs as compared to these big tech cities like Silicon Valley and New York because they are in the prime hub of startups and tech companies. जैसे ही कोई startup को funding मिलती है, they don't want to travel to, hire. They want to just
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
So all the venture capitalists are there. So I think in my opinion, your decision of first of all low cost and best location अगर देखा जाए, I think in your list, मेरे ख्याल से University of Georgia would be the best option. What do you think about it? In a
Yes. So
that's what I think.
yeah, I'm still deciding right now, so I can't really say for sure because I feel that for me personally, I think brand really matters down the line, and but it's hard to say right now, so I'm still deciding. Purdue also seems to be a good option because I also got a scholarship, albeit a small scholarship, over there. I was like one of the 50 internationals to get a scholarship at Purdue, out of 1,500 that applied for it. So I was awarded the Purdue India Scholarship, and that was worth around 4,000 per year. So Purdue's cost is also a little lesser to begin with. So my total cost at Purdue, including living, would be 36K. And if I move out, I could also reduce this to 30 to 32K.
That is pretty impressive. So Purdue is also and University of Georgia. Both are competitive because the Purdue is near Chicago, 2 hours, I think, and the
Yes,
University of Georgia is like near Atlanta, 1 hour. So yeah, I
yes.
think I might be biased for UG
No,
being in
I get that. Yeah,
yeah, but
yes.
yeah, I think you won't go wrong, I think, in either way. So now talking about your profile, so can you please share your your overall profile other than the SAT score? You said 14, 19 SAT. What was your GPA? Like, आपके predicted score क्या है? Predicted in 12th, how much?
Sure. So in ninth grade, I had 89%. In 10th, I had 95. 11th, I dipped to 65%. In 12th grade, I had a predicted score of 62%. Sorry, 92%. So sorry.
Oh, really?
92%.
How did you get that high predicted score? Like, how did
So
school calculate?
So in 12th grade, I had started to focus on my academics again. So it wasn't really like that I was balancing a lot of things. I only had a couple of internships that I had to manage, which was pretty like manageable. It was basically calculated based on the pre-board marks and half-yearly marks combined. And based on that, they gave me a bump of 3 to 5%. And that's how my scores were calculated.
That's impressive. I can tell you many schools actually like कुछ भी लिख देते हैं. 11th is in the control of school, right? So
Yeah, yeah. मेरे
they
में भी यही हुआ था.
आपके साथ हुआ
That
था?
was also Yes, 11th where there's very hard checking. Universities also have come to know this because in private CBSE schools the checking is random and in ninth also is weirdly checked. So they know about this.
So they know that like ninth and like 11th marks are not true what is written on paper. Like
Yes,
teachers
yes,
can like like accelerate कुछ भी लिख सकते हैं ज़्यादा भी लिख सकते हैं
yes,
and like
yes.
and कम भी लिख सकते हैं. So it could
Yeah,
be like unpredictable. But board 10th
right.
and 12th are more true.
Standardized. Yeah,
They are more standardized. So, okay, so the universities know as well. So that's good. So
right.
students watching this video don't need to worry about it. Ki
Mm.
ninth and 11th. It's not to worry much about it. Like, and now talking about your extracurriculars. What was the standing out part in your extracurriculars, first of all?
So I think that I had a huge, so basically I had a lot of extracurriculars that were first out of the place, but then I tried to make a story out of them and connected all of them together. My main extracurricular was running my media house, Mystique. And through Mystique, I worked with, so basically what Mystique does, it's a content build, and we provide SEO services and content writing services. So I have worked with around 30 clients including unicorn companies like Spinny and Cast24, etc. So through that, I was able to demonstrate my passion for something in my field. Although it was not directly related to my major, I think it just showed that I was committed to one extracurricular activity for 4 years, and it showed my dedication towards what I work towards. So that was my main extracurricular. Apart from that, I had like a 2, 3 internships. I also did some volunteering for dengue awareness, and I also shadowed like a WHO officer.
Oh,
Yeah.
how did you get these opportunities first of all? So can you share the name
So
of school? Which school did you go to in Delhi, in Gurgaon?
in Noida, I went
Noida.
to APC school in Noida.
Okay. So like how did you
Yes.
get to know and get into these activities? Was it all because of your school or did you because
No. In fact, I'd say my school didn't really help me at all. In 12th grade, I had a hard time getting my predicted score right. But it's fine. I get that not a lot of school, like not a lot of people go from my school to study abroad. But keeping that aside, I got my opportunities through cold emailing primarily and LinkedIn. A lot of opportunities came through LinkedIn. I think what happened was that when I started to do so I started as a freelance writer, and gradually I evolved my like projects into a single unified business under Mystique. So what happened was through this, I think I grew some professionalism and some soft skills that I think that I didn't have these earlier. So based on that, I started cold emailing some people. I also developed a skill, and I showed my passion for this new technology called gamification. I reached out to a couple of startups, and from there on, since I had experience, it was a lot easier to get more opportunities.
Hmm.
So
So
it was kind of
overall
like a ladder.
ladder. Okay. So started with your freelancing gig, फिर उसके बाद cold emailing.
Yes,
You start
yes.
what was your first freelancing gig you started with?
So there's I'll give them the name. There's this very small startup called Car Orbis from Faridabad. I reached out to its founder. Somehow I dug out his phone number and I directly called him up. And I was very like hesitant to talk with him, and like I wasn't even able to communicate with him in my first call. But somehow I got lucky, and he was a really good boss. He understood that I was coming from a smaller class, and he gave me the chance to really work at a startup. And he kind of gave me like a blank check to work on whatever I liked in the startup. So I started with content writing because I was a good writer at my school as well. So from there on, I learned SEO. And from there, I started to reach out to other companies as well. I went to Go Mechanic after that, and then I
Kumikon?
started working.
What is
Sorry,
it? Kumikon? What is the
Go
name?
Mechanic. Go Mechanic.
Go Mechanic. Go Mechanic.
Yes, yes. And after that, I just went on and went on, and I accumulated a lot of freelance projects. And after a point, I had so much work that I had to delegate some of my work to another freelancer, and that's how Misty Content Mill started.
So to all students watching this video, what would you say? कि your projects and extracurriculars should be industry ready, just like you have done, कि आपने tech companies में, startups में reach out किया, or you think कि your extracurriculars should be more related to, your self-done projects like freelancing, घर बैठे बैठे projects के लिए. What do you think? What are more
So
important?
I think it should be a mix of both. So one thing that I did lack at was, proper summer programs or summer camps that universities have. So that way, your extracurriculars actually get verified in somewhat, if you know what I mean. Because these programs are well established and they know what you're talking about. But if you're doing like self-initiated projects and freelancing, then it's always good to have some proof because I had a lot of proof for my work. I showed them the links to my projects. I had a LinkedIn profile, which was also verified through my email account that I had at Spinny and stuff. So if you have something to show on the internet that, hey, this is what I have on the internet, here's the proof for it, then admission officers are pretty understanding. And they would not they would not judge you based on what projects you've done. You just have to show and describe it the way that they want to see it. So that's what I would say.
Hmm. Got it. You have to show your passion in every way you can, like whether it's your projects, जो आप खुद करते हो, self-done projects or industry verified projects, whether it's working in a company or summer schools. Like many people pay
Yes,
for going to Harvard as a
yes.
summer school,
Which
like
I don't.
$20,000. Oh my God.
Yes,
So,
I don't think that's worth it. But if you have the money, go ahead. Don't. I'm not stopping you. It's gonna be good for your profile, anyways.
okay. Yeah, it's not going to be as good for your profile as much,
No, of
a
course, yeah,
startup can do for sure, right?
yeah, yeah. Because at a startup, you learn much more.
Absolutely.
And if you go to Harvard, you'll be in a protected environment, I believe.
True. And I think, like I personally think sometimes that all of these more expensive schools could be a scam at the end of the day because I don't think there is a big relationship between spending a lot of money in your education and getting bigger return as well. Like, look at many people who went to even like, a community college, like who pay basically even less than a university, then they transfer, go to a university, get scholarship. They pay less than even 20 lakh rupees for their degree, but still they get
Yes.
equal or sometimes even higher package than someone going to a very expensive degree. Like you also applied for UK. Why did you apply for UK? Because currently UK has a bigger recession. And what was your approach in applying this year?
So So the thing is that in US, I know that there are a lot of better jobs and more opportunities for landing a good job. But in the UK, I only applied to like the cream schools, so London School of Economics, Warwick, King's College London, etc. So I had five options on my like UCAS portal, which is the portal for applying to UK. So my thought process was that if I don't get into US, a good college in the US, or if I have to like pay to go to the US for a very good or for a mediocre college, like if I would didn't get into Drexel or UGA on a scholarship, then I would have probably went to UK because first point, the colleges over there are somewhat cheaper than US. Second point, they only have like 3 years of education, so also the cost is lower overall. And third point, UK, my universities in the UK had a good brand name, so I wouldn't have like a huge problem finding a job elsewhere apart from the UK. So if you have like a university that's globally recognized, then I thought that that would be also a good option.
Mhm. And did you get into London School of Economics as well, or no?
I haven't heard back yet, but I got into Warwick Economics, which is also like one of the best economics programs in the UK and Europe.
Absolutely. That's right. Yeah, I mean, I have actually done an interview with a student who went to like Imperial, like they also say that the school names you have told about or talked about, they have bigger branding than even Imperial College London, right?
I'd say it's on par. Imperial is, I think, might be better than Warwick, but King's College, yeah, I think it's on par. Or sometimes in my colleges are a bit that bit lower than Imperial, because Imperial is like it's like the top 10 university in the world. So
Um,
yeah.
God. No, what was the most difficult aspect of your application? What was the part you were most nervous about? Was it a statement of purpose? Was it your extracurriculars? Was it your grades?
So I think uh, the holistic part as a whole was very difficult to figure out because I had a lot of stuff on my profile, but as I said earlier, it didn't really make sense to put dengue on my profile, right? So somehow I needed to connect what I was doing personally on my projects and then what my major had. So I had to like figure out a way to bring together a cohesive story that made sense because at the end of the day, my goal was to give so at the end of the day, I wanted the admission officer to read out in a single sentence what this kid wants to do when comes to college. So I just wanted to think about that. So the holistic application process as a whole was a pretty difficult thing for me to do.
Any mentorship you took in this process to like, to shape out your holistical process for the application?
So I didn't really pay for any help, but what I did was I reached out to a lot of students through LinkedIn that were already studying in my dream universities. So through this, I got to know a lot of bits and pieces of the application. So I took the best out of each person that I got to know, and I put it together, and then I started with the process.
That's amazing, यार. Without paying a single rupee in consultancies, आपने कर लिया. कमाल है. How much time you were spending and how difficult it's to manage your 12th grade. Study abroad भी करना. Did you also take the JEE?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so आपने
So
JEE नहीं किया. This boards. How difficult
no, no.
everything?
It's like it's I'd say that I did all of my research in 11th. So as you could so I had also had a dip in 11th for this very reason as well. I'd say it's pretty hard to manage if you don't have a right schedule. In 12th grade I started to figure things out, and it was easier to manage because after 11th grade I got my result sheet back and it was horrible. And so that's the main reason why I started to like have a proper schedule in place. And so it's not that hard to manage if you have the right schedule, is what I wanted to say.
Impressive. Very impressive, yeah. By the way, दोस्तों, Yajyansh is going to actually show us what is most important for each university. आप कैसे ढूंढ सकते हो? For example, some universities prioritize statement of purpose, some universities prioritize your SAT score, ACT scores. So let's see. Yeah. So Purdue, common C.
CBS, yes. So yeah, पहला.
Oh, ये Purdue खुद रिलीज करता है.
हाँ जी.
So यहाँ
तो
पे.
अगर आप स्क्रॉल करेंगे थोड़ा,
हाँ.
स्क्रॉल थोड़ा सा नीचे 2-3 पेज आ गए. थोड़ा सा और जैसे ये ऊपर था, ये एवरेज सैट स्कोर्स भी बताता है आपके 75th परसेंटाइल इस पेज पे ऊपर.
Okay.
थोड़ा सा और ऊपर, आई थिंक ऊपर निकल गया हो शायद, फोर्थ पेज पे हो गया तो. ना इस पे भी नहीं है.
Fall 26
थर्ड पेज.
बहुत पुराना नहीं है ये तो. Fall 26.
चलो वो रहने दो, आप कॉमन डेटा सेट देख लो एक बार, और नीचे ही 7th 8th पेज पे होगा वो. हाँ जैसे ये देखो, दिस इज द टेबल. नीचे नीचे ये.
Okay. Okay.
सो दिस
Rigor
इज
of.
वेरी.
Okay, so it tells कि rigor of secondary school record. आपका school record सबसे ज्यादा important. Your GPA
हाँ.
most important. Standardized test score most important. Okay.
एप्लीकेशन ऐसे एक इम्पोर्टेंट, तो ऐसे पता लग जाता है आपको क्या पे. अब जैसे आप ट्रैक भी कर सकते हो कि डेमोन्स्ट्रेटेड इंटरेस्ट ट्रैक करता है कि नहीं, लास्ट में लिखा है ना लेवल ऑफ.
Level of कहाँ पे? अच्छा हाँ, level of application interest.
हाँ. तो अगर वो कंसिडर्ड है तो फिर मतलब ईमेल्स वगैरह अगर आप लिखोगे यूनिवर्सिटी को तो फिर वो देखेगी उसे, तो फिर वो भी आपको अकाउंट में लेगी, वो कि इंटरेस्टेड है बंदा, ले लेते हैं सर.
Hmm. Got it. So it's very, very interesting. Okay, got it. Now let's look at some other CDS. Let's say if I want to look at Georgia Tech CDS, let's see. And here, let's go to पार्ट टाइम एनरोलमेंट पूरा।
सब डेटा है, पर मैं तो सिर्फ सीबीएसई देखता था ज्यादातर, क्योंकि मैंने ऐसी फिर कॉलेज लिस्ट भी बना दी थी, तो मैं बोलना चाह रहा था, फिर मैं बोल नहीं पाया था।
Incredible. This is very important information. Okay, here we go. So,
हम्म।
basis of selection. So, rigor of secondary record, very important. For Georgia Tech, also, your scores are very important. Class rank, doesn't matter, not considered. Impressive.
यस।
GPA, very important. So, your 12th score is important. Your SAT is considered. This is very
तो
important. Recommendations considered. Application essay is important. So, उस हिसाब से you prioritize कि, yeah, for Georgia Tech,
हाँ।
let's say you can prioritize that, oh, your school record is most important, and then you have to push lot on your essay. And then,
तो
yeah,
क्या
then,
होता है ना, जैसे,
हाँ,
सॉरी गो अहेड।
हाँ, तो इसमें बाकी नॉन एकेडमिक में भी कंसिडर करते हैं आपका अच्छे से, तो ये।
हाँ, जैसे वॉलंटियर वर्क है तो वो कंसिडर्ड है बस। तो
और
मतलब,
इंटरव्यू लेता नहीं है। ओके, वेरी नाइस। हाँ, अब बताओ।
तो मतलब मेरा जो एम था, मेरा तो मेरे को लग रहा था कि मेरा होलिस्टिक पार्ट ज्यादा स्ट्रांग है एकेडमिक्स से, तो मैंने ऐसे कॉलेजेस छाट लिए जो होलिस्टिक ज्यादा है, मतलब बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस देते हैं ऐसे इसको और उसको।
Very impressive. Very amazed. This is very important information, दोस्तों. So do check out CDS for every university you're applying to. Is that available for masters as well?
I don't know. I'm not sure for masters. I think undergrad के लिए है।
Okay, got it. Yeah, very impressive. SAT का भी है इसमें, ACT भी है. Very important. So all the average percentile is there. Learned a lot, यार. Thank you so much. Learned a lot. And any final advice for students watching this video?
Yeah, just after you're done with the application process, have a few months break, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Yashash, again. And anyone watching this video, remember to do a holistical research. CDN, like CDN of every university is important. And prioritizing जहाँ पे वो ज़्यादा consider करते हैं, अगर ऐसे ज़्यादा important है, वहाँ पे ज़्यादा मेहनत करो, so that your application is full full of the high priority stuff, and low priority पे कम effort दो, and you will be able to save a lot of time this way. So what do you think? How much time you spent on each application overall?
Well, I didn't really measure, but मैंने around 20 कॉलेज में अप्लाई किया था, तो I think every day 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours भी दे देता था मैं, and for around 2 to 3 months. अप्लाई में मतलब essays में, application, extracurriculars and profile building was separate.
Oh, nice. बहुत टाइम लगता है, so it's a lot of effort because you didn't take any mentorship or any consultancy's help. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I don't recommend that. Reddit पे बहुत सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन है, तो उस पे जाओ, और कॉलेज कॉन्फिडेंशियल एक फोरम है, वहां पे भी जा सकते हो, और सीडीएस जैसा मैंने बताया था,
Serious.
यही काफी है।
Got it. But wonderful. Thank you so much, Yashansh, for your time, and hope to see you in US soon. Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Awesome. Thank you. See you.
Oh, I just wanna be your Superman. Come fly with me, just take my hand.